Hi, I'm Leah. I'm a mental health specialist with the Weight Loss and Wellness Center, and we are coming to you today with our third part in our series on food waste in our Budget Bites series. I'm here today with Lindsay, counselor with the Weight Loss and Wellness Center, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about food waste at the table. Lindsay, you teach our mindful eating class.
I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about what mindful eating means and what that is?
Yeah, so mindful eating is really kind of what it sounds like. You're eating with more mindfulness, meaning you're paying more attention to how you're eating. You're paying attention to what you're eating. Mindfulness just really means awareness and attention. So what am I eating? How fast am I eating? How much am I chewing? How much, volume am I eating? When am I getting full? Am I still hungry? And so paying attention to your internal signals, so that you can determine based on what your body needs if you can stop eating or not.
Excellent, awesome. So there's really a lot of attention and focus on your meal.
Yes.
There's a timeliness and attention. I'm glad to hear you describe food and eating in this way, that it kind of engages the senses. It came to mind when I was thinking about food waste in that way, because a lot of times when I'm working with patients, and this has come up a lot in our food Budget Bites series and in food waste, because when I'm meeting with patients, sometimes they express concern in their background about wasting food, and sometimes they find themselves overeating because they grew up cleaning their plate,
right,
and worried that the food that they prepared, that they've spent money on, is going to waste if they throw it out after they've cooked.
It's a very common concern, and for some people a fear, or even just a refusal to throw away food, or a refusal to not eat it if it's on the plate, just because of the way they were raised. For a variety of reasons. Maybe in their household food was scarce, and so if it was on your plate you had to eat it because you didn't know when you were going to eat again. Or there was a lot of siblings and there was some a rivalry over food, and so you had to eat everything or else your older brother or sister was going to get it. Or maybe there was really no financial need, but just a household rule that if you take it and you put it on your plate, you have to eat it. You can't get up from the table until you eat it. There's starving children somewhere in the world, and so you shouldn't waste food. And so I think a lot of people, and that spans generations, but a lot of people have grown up with that mentality of, if it's on my plate, I have to eat it, otherwise it's wasteful.
That makes a lot of sense. So a lot of cultural considerations, socioeconomic considerations, and just family generational considerations. It sounds like a lot of our patients and a lot of people watching might fall into any number of these categories.
Sure, yeah.
It's interesting how a lot of us can feel kind of icky about throwing food away before it's prepped, but especially not want it to go to waste afterward.
Right.
So as someone who teaches a lot of our patients to successfully, deal with some of these concerns and resolve those, what are some strategies that you would recommend if someone is experiencing some of these patterns and behaviors and wants to reduce some overeating that's occurring at the table?
Sure. So one of the quickest and easiest things to do is use a smaller plate.
Okay.
And I know that's something that we talk about in our one-on-one class, is our plate size. And really, the size of our plate does determine how much food we put on it. So if I take a big dinner plate and I put food on it and I fill up all the empty spaces, and I'm one of those people that subscribes to the Clean Your Plate Club, then I might be putting way too much food on there for me. But if I feel like I need to eat it all, then I'm going to end that meal feeling overstuffed and miserable. So if I go to a smaller plate, I can end up putting smaller portions on there that might actually satisfy me, and when I'm done eating, then I won't feel that overstuffed and overfull.
Very cool.
But I think sometimes there's a fear of, that if I put it on a smaller plate, I'm not going to eat enough.
Gotcha.
Well, and that's okay. If you eat what's on your smaller plate and you're still legitimately hungry and need food, you can always go get more.
True.
But the problem is, if I pile my plate and think I need to eat it all, or believe that I need to eat it all, then I'm going to tend to overeat.
Okay.
We see this a lot at restaurants. Food at restaurants is now served almost on a platter. And there's a whole getting your money's worth thing. Well, I bought it, I paid for this meal, I need to eat it all. And then people leave the meal just stuffed and really uncomfortable and miserable and regretful that I ate all that much. So at a restaurant, one of the easiest things to do is when you place your order, ask for a to-go box. Awesome. Get a to-go box as soon as your meal arrives, put half of all the portions in the to-go box, and then you've got a whole second meal. So those are really two quick and easy things to do. That can eliminate even the extra food from getting on your plate, so you don't have to throw it away.
That's amazing.
Some of the other things that are a little bit harder are paying attention to how full you're getting when you're eating. And so that's where the mindfulness comes in, the paying attention, the eating slowly. And eating slowly plays a role because there's a lag time between when your stomach is at capacity and your brain gets the sensation or gets the signal that it's time to stop eating. There's a lag there. So if you eat too fast, then there's no catch-up time and you might end up eating more. So slowing down and eating and being more mindful about that can help. And so then if you're paying attention to how full you're getting and you're realizing, okay, I'm getting full and I probably can't eat much more, but I've still got like all this food on my plate.
Yeah.
And if I'm thinking I have to eat all this, I can't throw it away, I need to eat it, that's kind of a panicky moment. Right? So there are some options. Bag it up for lunch tomorrow. Just because you've eaten off of it doesn't mean you can't eat off of it again tomorrow. Perfect. So get some containers, pack it up, that's your lunch tomorrow, maybe your dinner for tomorrow. The hardest thing would be just taking that plate over to the trash can and scraping it in, right? Because now I'm wasting food. But it's important to think about what does it mean to be wasting food.
Right.
You've mentioned before, you've already paid for the food, you've already bought the food. There's really you're not losing any money by putting the food in the trash can. But there's this idea that, well, I need to put it in my body so that it's not wasted in the trash can. But if you think about it, if you're eating more calories than your body needs, and you're eating more food than your body needs, it's wasted on your body.
Absolutely.
And is either going to be converted to stored fat or excreted out of the body as waste that your body doesn't need. So there, you can waste it in the trash can, or you can waste it on your body.
That's really interesting.
And so thinking about it that way, I think, can help people kind of get past the, okay, well, do I want it on my body as stored fat? Or would I rather have it in the trash can? Because either way, it's going to be wasted food.
Absolutely. I think that it was an aha moment just hearing that it shaped that way. It is wasted if it's extra, that your body doesn't need. Why not take care of your body and keep your body healthful? And really, we've talked in this series, if you've done the meal planning, if you've used up your resources wisely the day after, that you can feel comfortable knowing that plate that you've eaten and you've eaten your full, and you've used these mindful strategies to sense your fullness and eat to where you're comfortable, that that whatever is going into the trash can or hopefully bagged up the next day is you've planned well, you've reduced that waste, but you're also taking care of your body if you're not overeating as well. It's a really great way of kind of rethinking food waste for those of us who are trying to change some of those thoughts and behaviors as well. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for sharing with us some of your expertise and your thoughts on this, and we hope that for our viewers that has helped. Please let us know in the comments if you have any other thoughts or questions on food waste at the table or any other strategies that have helped you in changing some of those patterns and behaviors. I'm Leah, and this is Lindsay.
Thanks for
so
listening.
much.